Welcome to Cinema Ned. Today, we're diving into a gripping mystery thriller, a tale of a father consumed by grief, relentlessly seeking answers about his daughter's tragic fate and determined to see justice served. Our story unfolds in Boston, where we meet three young friends, Jimmy, Sean, and Dave, playing carefree in their neighborhood. Their light-hearted game takes a twist when they stumble upon fresh concrete on the ground. Jimmy, ever the leader, suggests they etch their names into it to leave a lasting mark. First, Jimmy carves his name, followed by Sean. But as Dave starts to write, a car screeches to a halt nearby. A man steps out, claiming to be a police officer. He scolds them for tampering with what he calls a restricted area under police watch. He then asks for their addresses. Jimmy and Sean live just around the corner, but Dave's home is farther off. Hearing this, the man singles Dave out and orders him into the car. Confused and reluctant, Dave hesitates but is pressured inside. Through the window he catches a glimpse of a priest who flashes an eerie, unsettling smile. The car speeds off, leaving Jimmy and Sean frozen, watching helplessly as their friend vanishes. It soon becomes clear these men aren't officers at all. Dave is in serious trouble. These shadowy figures target vulnerable kids, dragging them into a nightmare of fear and isolation. Dave becomes their captive, trapped in a remote cabin where he faces days of harrowing ordeal. But one day, a fleeting opportunity arises, and Dave grabs it, bolting from the cabin without a backward glance. Years roll by. We find Dave as a young man, now married with a family. Jimmy has risen to prominence in the city, running various businesses, some legitimate, others less so. He's a commanding figure with a loyal following and a reputation that demands respect. Jimmy's daughter, Katie, is from his first marriage. After losing her mother, Jimmy remarried Annabeth, and together they have two younger daughters. Sean, meanwhile, has become a police officer. He's married too, but his wife has left him, taking their child and cutting off all contact despite his efforts to reach her. The story shifts to a Saturday. Katie approaches her father, Jimmy, asking if she can head out with friends that evening. Jimmy gives his approval. As Katie gets ready to leave, she pauses, locking eyes with her father, and promises she'll see him soon before heading downstairs. She hops into her car, where her boyfriend, Ray, waits. Their romance is a well-kept secret, but their connection shines through. They chat about their plans, with Ray double-checking their next steps for tomorrow. Katie nods in agreement. Night settles in, and we see Katie at a bar, laughing and enjoying time with her friends. Dave happens to spot her there and recognizes her as Jimmy's daughter. He recalls seeing her as a little girl years ago. Later that night, Dave stumbles home, shaken and bloodied. His hands are scraped, and a deep cut marred his stomach. His wife, alarmed, demands to know what happened. Dave brushes it off, saying he fought off a mugger and got the upper hand. He admits he's scared, wondering if he might have gone too far and left the attacker for dead. He's rattled to his core. His wife urges him to go to the hospital, but Dave refuses, insisting he'll recover at home. She reluctantly drops it. The next morning, she scours the newspapers for any mention of a violent incident but finds nothing. She's puzzled. If Dave took someone down, why isn't it reported? Meanwhile, Sean gets a call from two kids who spotted an abandoned car on the road, streaked with blood. He asks for their names, but they stay quiet. Sean and his team head to the scene. At the same time, Jimmy returns home and realizes Katie never came back last night. He calls a buddy at the bar, who says Katie left with her friends around 1 a.m. Jimmy's unease grows, and he checks her usual spot, his shop, but she's nowhere to be found. Ray shows up with his brother, also looking for Katie. Jimmy's never liked Ray, especially the way he gazes at his daughter. Ray leaves without a word. Jimmy then heads to church, where his younger daughters are in a communion ceremony. Seeing them lifts his spirits briefly, but Katie's absence gnaws at him. Sean reaches the abandoned car and confirms it's Katie's. She's not inside. Inspecting it, he finds signs she was struck in the shoulder by a bullet, forcing her to stop and stumble into the nearby woods. The police launch a search through the trees. Jimmy notices a swarm of police cars racing toward the woods and tails them. Meanwhile, Sean stumbles upon Katie's lifeless form. The sight hits him hard, leaving him stunned. Jimmy arrives and spots Katie's car. Fury surges through him. The police block him from the scene, but he slips through another route, only to be caught quickly. He shouts, pleading with Sean to tell him if Katie's alive. Sean stays silent, bracing for the crushing truth he'll have to share. Finally, he breaks it to Jimmy. The police escort Jimmy to the morgue to identify the body. He confirms it's Katie. Sean and his partner, Whitney Powers, start questioning Jimmy to speed up the investigation. They ask if anything odd happened the day before. Jimmy says it all felt normal, though he admits Katie's goodbye struck him as unusually heavy. Whitney jots it down. Then he brings up Jimmy's past, his time in prison for robbery. Jimmy snaps, telling them to focus on catching Katie's killer instead of digging into old wounds. He storms off. Friends and family gather at Jimmy's place to grieve. Dave and his wife, Celeste, are there too. Celeste watches Dave closely. Katie's death happened the same night he came home bloodied, and with no other deaths in the morning news, her suspicion festers. Could Dave be involved? The police report to their chief that they found a stack of Las Vegas hotel pamphlets in Katie's car, hinting at a lead. They visit a woman living near the crime scene and ask what she saw that night. She says she was awake when a car pulled up. After it stopped, she heard a friendly, "Hi," followed instantly by a gunshot. From this, the detectives figure Katie likely knew whoever shot her. They question her friends about the Vegas pamphlets and any plans to leave town. The friends spill that Katie was set to elope with her boyfriend Ray to Las Vegas for a fresh start. Meanwhile, Jimmy sits on his balcony, drowning in sorrow. Dave approaches. Jimmy eyes Dave's banged-up hands and asks how he got hurt. Dave says he slammed them in a door, but Jimmy's too lost in grief to press. He confesses he's fighting tears, believing men shouldn't cry, but soon crumbles, overwhelmed by his love for Katie. The detectives haul Ray in. He's shattered to learn of Katie's death, sobbing uncontrollably. They ask about their Vegas trip, and Ray confirms they were leaving Sunday night. Questioned about his whereabouts during the murder, he says he was home, asleep. They push for a polygraph, and he agrees. The results back him up, ruling him out. The investigation pivots to the bar where Katie was last seen. They pull the patron list and spot Dave's name. When they grill him, they notice his injured hands. He says he left the bar around 1 a.m., but Whitney grows wary. Dave's ties to Katie and his injuries make him a suspect. Sean's not so sure yet. The next day, they swing by Jimmy's place and run into Dave again. They press him about his hands. He switches his story, saying he hurt them taking out the trash. Whitney's convinced he's hiding something. Sean spots Celeste and pulls her aside. He asks when Dave got home that Saturday night. She falters, then says she was asleep. Sean senses she's covering for him. They turn to Jimmy, asking why. He dislikes Ray. Jimmy clarifies it's not Ray he hates, it's Ray's deadbeat dad, who ditched his family. Jimmy worries Ray might turn out the same. The ballistics report lands. The bullet that killed Katie matches one from a liquor store robbery a year ago. Stunned, they head to the store and talk to the owner, who fingers Ray Sr., Ray's father, as the robber. This muddies the waters. Sean suspects Ray, while Whitney sticks to Dave. They clash over it. Late that night, Dave's at home watching a vampire flick. Celeste walks in, and Dave questions her late return. Her vague answers spark his temper. He snaps, "I know what you're thinking. You think I took Katie out, don't you?" Celeste pushes him to talk to the police. If he's clean, he should prove it. She begs him to open up about that night. Dave breaks, tears flowing, and spills the pain of his childhood abduction. He says it shattered his soul, leaving him a shell, haunted by dark thoughts he can't shake. He despises that part of himself. Celeste's floored. She's never seen him so raw. As Dave steps out, he runs into Jimmy. Dave admits he was at the bar that night and saw Katie before she left. Then he walks off. Whitney tells Sean she found blood in Dave's car and wants to dig deeper. They question him, but he denies everything, saying his car was stolen that night and he reported it. It's a dead end, frustrating them. Whitney's still sure it's Dave, but Sean suggests they hunt for the murder weapon instead and track down who's got it. They pull Ray Sr.'s file and dig in. They learn Ray Sr. was nabbed for the robbery but got off, while Jimmy took the fall for him. After Jimmy got out, Ray Sr. vanished. the plot thickens. Meanwhile, a rattled Celeste visits Jimmy. She shares her worries about Dave's odd behavior. Jimmy presses her, and she reveals Dave came home at 3 a.m. that night, blood-soaked, claiming he'd fought off a thief and maybe killed him, but no news reports backed it up. Jimmy asks, "You think he got to my Katie?" Celeste nods, leaving Jimmy reeling. At the same time, the detectives grill Ray about his dad. Ray says he went out for drinks one night and never came back. They figure Ray Sr.'s long gone, but Ray insists he's alive, sending $500 monthly. Sean demands to know where Ray Sr.'s gun, the one that killed Katie, is. Ray swears he's clueless. Sean's patience thins, but Ray stonewalls. Sean replays the kid's call about the car. After looping it, he catches a detail. When he asked the boy's name, the kid said, "These people want to know the name of this girl." Katie's identity wasn't public yet, so the kids knowing it was a girl suggests they saw something. The detectives hunt for the kids. Meanwhile, Jimmy's crew lures Dave into a car and drives him to a quiet spot for drinks. As Dave gets tipsy, Jimmy shows up. In the dead of night, they drag Dave to the Mystic River. Jimmy opens up about his past, how Ray Sr. pinned the robbery on him, landing him in prison. While locked up, Katie's mom fell ill and passed. When Jimmy got out, he tracked Ray Sr. down, ended him, and dumped him in the river. Dave asks, "You think I took Katie out?" Jimmy nods. "Why else would you be here?" Dave counters that he saw a creep harassing a kid in a car that night. It triggered his past trauma, and he snapped, taking the guy out. Jimmy scoffs, "No body, no proof." He offers Dave a deal, confess to Katie's death, and he'll live. Dave swayed, admitted it. Jimmy demands the story. Dave spins a tale. Seeing Katie so happy at the bar stirred jealousy in him. His childhood was stolen, while hers was golden. He says he wanted that joy and took her out for it. Jimmy's rage erupts. He pulls a knife, striking Dave repeatedly, then finishes him with a shot to the head. Meanwhile, Ray gets home and hunts for his dad's gun. It's gone. He realizes his younger brother, jealous of Ray leaving with Katie, must have used it. Ray, his brother's main caretaker, confronts him. Ray unleashes his fury, demanding a confession. He turns on his brother's buddy too, sure he's in on it. They're inseparable. As he roughs up the friend gives Ray the gun. But before he can shoot, Sean and Whitney burst in, stopping the chaos. Next morning, Jimmy's found slumped on the road, drunk. Sean approaches and says they nabbed Katie's killers, Ray's brother and his pal. They confessed they were messing with the gun. It went off, hitting Katie. Panicked, they finished her off to cover it up. Jimmy's gut twists. He killed Dave for nothing. Sean adds they found a body near the bar, a known predator, likely Dave's doing. They ask when Jimmy last saw Dave. He mutters it was back when they were kids, in that car, and not since. He thanks Sean for the arrests, but laments they didn't come sooner. Sean catches the hint. Jimmy took Dave out. He says, "So, you'll send $500 to Dave's family monthly now?" It's a nod to Jimmy's pattern, tying him to Ray Sr.'s fate too. The detectives head to Celeste's. There, Sean's phone rings, his estranged wife. After years, they talk, hinting at a reunion. Time skips to the Boston parade. Sean's there with his wife. Celeste, frantic, searches for her son. He's drifted, blaming her for Dave's absence. Then we see Jimmy with Annabeth. She comforts him, saying he did what any dad would. He steps away, locking eyes with Sean. Sean subtly aims his gun hand at Jimmy, signaling he's on to Dave's death and won't let it slide. The film wraps, and that's our video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share it, and subscribe to Cinnamon. Thanks for watching.